Welcome back to this special episode. I'm Danberg SC, and today we're going to do kind of a special, I don't know if I'm going to put it in Potato League or just miscellaneous games or learning from the greats or whatever, but I have two parts to this series that I'm going to start, and this is basically me getting dumpstered by a guy named Augustus. So, I had a little bit of background, here we go, just a little bit of background on this. A couple weeks back, was just kind of grinding up to Diamond 2. I played this guy called Augustus, and the first time I played him, he ran in with 4 Hellions and killed like 25 of my workers. I was like, alright, GG. My queens were out of position, no problem. I played him again later on, and I was like, hey, I'm going to try to not lose to your Hellions this time. I kind of sent him a chat, and I don't know if he remembers this or not. I was going back and watching the replays, and he's like, have I played you before? And I was like, yeah, you killed all of my workers with like 4 Hellions. I'm gonna try to not die to it. And I survived through his Hellions perfectly. I didn't lose anything. We were playing, and then I lost that game as well. And afterwards, he was like, let's practice sometime. He's a really good Terran, very, very good player. And it had been like a week, and then he sent me messages like, hey, do you want to practice? And I was busy with something I couldn't practice. I was like, next time you're online, hit me up, because he's a really good Terran and I want to practice against him more. And I got online. So I played against Augustus yesterday, and just so you can kind of understand, so when I was against Augustus, first thing I did was I looked at his MMR that he hasn't played in a couple weeks, and I was like, oh yeah, this is my MMR, sorry. I was looking at his, I screwed it up again. I was looking at his MMR. I was like, Diamond 3, 3.6. I'm at almost 4K right now, so I'm like, easy peasy. I'm gonna crush this guy. It's like, this will be my warm-up game for the day, and I was super arrogant. I was like, way, it's gonna be no problem. And I'll tell you what, I got humbled hard after the first game. And I was kind of like, we were talking after the first game, and he was like, I think this, and I was like, no, this is just the tanks. It's your tanks, man, your tanks. And he was like, I don't think it was. I think you'd made a lot of mistakes. And I was like, it was your tanks. And eventually he was like, all right, let's go again. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna dumpster this guy this time. No, smashed again. And afterwards I was like, you know what? Shit, like, I'm at 4K MMR basically right now. My best matchup by, about 5%. I'm almost a 60% win rate against Terran. It's easily my best matchup by far. And, overall even from all seasons from when I first started, Terran, I've always felt really confident with it, because when I was playing Terran, that was like, I really enjoyed the race. I understood how it worked and how positioning and stuff is so important in trying to catch Terran out of position. Augustus doesn't get out of position. He gets in these amazing points, and then I attack from one alley into it all because I'm a terrible player. So today I want to go over these replays. This has been a really long intro, but Augustus, cheers, my friend. Cheers, my friend. You have humbled me greatly. So let's get into this first replay. Okay, Potato League 1, Potato League 2. Again, I was thinking about doing these as Potato Leagues, but I'm just going to go through the replay, and I'm going to watch what mistakes I'm making. So Augustus, he has a full-time job. He doesn't have enough time to play as much as he wants to, so his MMR is not accurate for where he actually is what I'm assuming. But I'm going to put his name up on the top so you know it. This is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Augustus. I hope that there are more of these. I might even make a special playlist for these replays, because he is going to smash me. So I'm going to look for what mistakes I'm making, and then I'm going to go back through and just kind of watch the replay. I played these games yesterday, went to bed, woke up kind of refreshed, and I'm going to go over these today. I'm going to get one today and one tomorrow. But from what I remember yesterday, I kept saying I didn't expect him to have as many tanks as he had, and that is due to bad scouting on my part. And that's been a problem with me. If you look at my... Oh, jeez. Okay, well, I didn't know that button was set to that. So, Potato League, obviously, over here. If you look, recent problems I've had is make better decision making and need to improve macro in the first 5 minutes, and then memorize scouting reactions. All these are kind of linked to bad scouting, which my scouting's bad. So go back into it. So if I don't know how many tanks he has, it's because I'm not scouting enough, and it's because I'm just not doing well. I don't think it's just because of the tanks. I'm going to notice more mistakes I'm making with this. Alright. So I'm just going to take it nice and slow. We're going to watch. And Augustus, if you are watching, if you want to comment about what I can do to beat you in the future in the comments below, make it public, make it known that you can beat Danberg 100% of the time. Yeah, this good guy. We were just playing this. Actually, one of my friends was watching this match. Kevin, who you've met, Cavi, was watching this match. Yeah, I am doing really well. I'm doing very well on the ladder. Just a friendly game of StarCraft. Alright. So I believe he Reapers. And I think his Reaper is really annoying on this game. He's got really good control. Take an early third so he can't block it with the Reaper. I see the Reaper. I see it coming towards the natural, so I position my lings at the natural instead of the main. He could jump into the main, and then I see him going to the main, so I walk up. But I'm just waiting for the queens to pop right now. I'm going to try to zone him out.
A new queen has emerged.
Before I inject, get my creep timber off while he's up in my main. Take a little bit of damage, not a big deal. It's just Reaper micro. I haven't made any massive mistakes yet. Pull my queens down to the front soon. I think I missed my 31 Overlord. I definitely missed my 31 Overlord. So I'm gonna get supply blocked here at 36 for 2.5 years. Okay, so mistake number one, his Reaper came in and did more damage than I thought it did. I forgot my 31 Overlord. So I was supply blocked there for a while, and that's why I had a bunch of unspent larvae. It's a new mistake. Mistake number one, supply block. So I see Marines, but I remember that he had gone Hellions in the past, so I am kind of expecting Hellions. It's a bit of a meta game, but I see that he's got more Marines than I'm expecting, so I'm expecting bio out of this. So my Lingbane Hydra, which I usually play, feeling is fine. Yeah, so his Reaper comes back. I realize they didn't kill it. My queens are all walking towards the next base. Pulled a little too many drones on this.
Evolution complete.
Pulled a little too many drones and still didn't get the kill. So lots of lost mining time on that. Here, I get him. I have speed now. So misclick on the roach on the tumor there. I wanted to push it forward.
A new queen has emerged.
I don't need these gases. He threw me off. I'm a little bit like, wow, this guy's okay. So here, let me pause really quick. Again, I'm in the numbers game. In the numbers game, his MMR right now is about 3.6 and I'm about 3.9. So I was expecting to just kind of like, oh, Reaper's in and just shoo it off. And then his Reaper got in and actually got a kill. Oh, no, he's not killed any of my workers yet, but he did kill my Ling, and it was actually pretty annoying. So I was like, well, this guy's got pretty good control. And it was a little bit wild, and I was taking my gas here. I was like, no, I don't need gas yet. I'm not going roaches. So starting my lair. What's my worker count right now? Not enough. I should be at 44. Oh, but I just spent those. Okay, so it's okay. It's all right. I should have a few more queens right now, though, actually. Oh, I'm just watching my minimap. I'm just droning. I'm making some lings because I'm expecting the Hellions to come in. I always do a round of lings at 44 workers before I go up to 51. And I've got lings on both of his thirds, so I know that he is not aggressively out base expanding, so there should be some pressure. I've got my queens and stuff positioned. I saw Marines at the beginning, so I'm expecting some sort of a drop, maybe. so I'm kind of banking up lings in my natural.
Warriors have engaged
I
the
see that he's taking out his third, so I start my upgrades, and now I'm going to continue to drone. So you should see a bunch of drones as soon as my overlords pop.
Your forces are under attack.
I don't really know what he's doing. Okay. So here's a big mistake that I'm making. So already we've got 2 supply blocks in this game, which is not good. And I was making 7 overlords right there because I'm supply blocked. I don't know why. Maybe this was honestly the first game I had played since about 4 days back. But I mean, Augustus hasn't played in about 3 weeks, so it's not an excuse. Cheers. Now, the supply block was bad, but also, let's see what I'm doing right now. I've got spores down because I don't know what he's doing. I'm expecting these are mostly for liberators. I know he's going bio, but when I played Terran, a really good thing to do was when you're positioning up something and you have a kind of a front that you're working towards in bio, while you're pushing that front, you send a liberator over, especially at the early game push. Because in the early game push, I need to pull my queens. Now, I usually have up to 7 queens when I'm playing standard ZBT, 4 creep spreads, plus 3 for injects, and then that's my 7. So my 4 are front, and if I need to pull the additional 3, then I'm facing some sort of an all-in. But because he's pushing my lings off of his third bases, I'm expecting that he's expanding out right now. I could have sent in an Overlord Scout very quickly and done that. The reason I'm floating so many minerals right now is because I'm just getting out of this supply block period. And I've got all of the larvae to spend it, so I should be spending that pretty soon. But let's take a look on the other side of the map at what's going on over there, if I'm correct. There's no third base. Oh, the third base was at the front. That's where I saw this. Yes. So my overlord here has been scouting that he's going a third, so I knew this wasn't going to be a 2-base in for a long time. These Hellions go out. I didn't catch the Hellions going down, but I haven't 100% confirmed its bio. You could be doing just Marines out of a single barracks to defend against Ling pressure while you're going into more reactors and stuff like that. So right now my vision, Danberg, is I know that he has some Marines, a tank, and a Viking. And a third base. And he hasn't opened up his second gas. Oh, okay, this should be a call that he's not going mech, because he would have had this 4th gas a lot sooner. So yeah, I'm correct in my assumption, but I didn't notice it until about right now. Starting my upgrades, about 5.5 minutes. My worker count is 41. I'm pretty low on workers right now. I should be up to 51 at least by this moment, but the supply block has been brutal. So let's keep going.
You're under attack. Siege up.
Alright, so I'm making workers now. There we go. Now I'm up to the worker count that I wanted to be. Just because I was supply blocked, there 55 is where I wanted to be. And now I'll start my upgrades. I'll open up 2 more gases, and I will start working towards Hydra. But I'm going to stay on Ling Bane for the beginning of this game. Getting some macro hatches, spending my cash. So, again, my macro's pretty good when I'm not getting supply blocked. That's just the big problem. My creep spread's really bad on this map. Again, I don't know the reason for it being so bad. I see
Not enough energy.
Oh, I see the Hellions now. Pulling back.
Under attack.
Made a lot of lings to deal with this. I'm expecting more pressure than this. I didn't need so many lings. I could have been at 66 by now. 51 workers, so I'm only a little bit ahead on workers. Oh, okay, boom, right here. So I'm gonna rewind it back. Let's look at the minimap. I can see the liberators coming in. Here's a Viking, but I see a liberator come down here right now. So I do have the vision. I'm just not looking at my minimap enough. My minimap awareness isn't very good. So hold on a second. I'm gonna pause it right when I see it.
Whoa, you need more energy, little guy.
I'm expecting a drop in the main. I think I was expecting him to go 2-1-1. Boom. Liberator, back here. That's right. I have these spotterlings out on the map and I see them. So I see it coming up. I could have seen, okay, it's coming up towards my natural. Sieging up a liberator here is a really, like, kind of a weird spot because I can have queen come up here and there's already a queen usually down here, so it's kind of going between 2 queens. I think he's going to come up around at the back of my base, and this is why, again, I already have spore crawlers. Now, one little mistake I made. If I don't know what they're doing, I always put the Spore Crawler inside the mineral line because this is better against Cloak Banshee. And Cloak Banshees can do a lot more damage quickly if I can't zone them out with my Queen. However, against Liberators, it's better to put the Spine on the backside of the mineral line so that if the Liberator wants to siege up behind here, he has to siege up way far, and I don't need to pull all of my workers. I can just pull, like, these two, and then walk the Queen up around to hit it. If it's here, he can siege the Liberator, like, here, and then just have my entire mineral line, so I have to pull all of my workers. So this is out of position, and it's, again, just because I didn't 100% know what he was doing. And I always expect Cloak Banshee before Liberator because it hits faster and it's a little bit more damaging if you're not prepared for it. So, again, do some damage and send a Liberator on the back. This is standard stuff. Go.
Under attack.
Second time, got Viking over here, got Liberator over here. Second time I could have seen it, not looking at the minimap, I'm looking at him killing my creep and looking, can I take this fight? And completely ignoring the Liberator that's going into my natural, or my main base. Pushing my queens away. So again, now I'm finally getting the scout off. Now is when I realize, okay, it's gonna be Marine tank. Marine medevac, going for upgrades. I'm 100% positive, so I go to Bane speed before. What I would usually do if it's going to be something like mech, I might want to spend this gas into something else, or if he has like a way more barracks than I think he should have, then I might get other things, but I'm confident with Hydras. So yeah. He's pushing again at the third. I see it. My creep spread's pretty bad. So now he's sieging up at my other base. I'm just staring at my lings. So yeah, this is what I mean. This Liberator here, it's not bad. What I should have done, as soon as the Liberator came in, I should have understood that, okay, his escape routes for the Liberator are here or here. So immediately, this Spore should have gone up here. I should have positioned this Queen over to this side. This Spore should go up over here, position the Queen up over to this side. And then I could even, and that would have been end of story for this Liber. I wouldn't have needed to deal with it anymore. So one set reaction that I need to put into my brain is when I see a Liberator, I need to also think, okay, where is it going to come from, and where should my Spores be to help defend this? So if he wants to do a double Liberator siege up, that's a big investment. One Liberator is about, I think it's 150, 150. So it's through a 300 mineral investment for one Liberator. If he wants to siege up two, there's a potential I kill both of them, which is 600 minerals at the beginning of the game. And losing two Liberators basically gives me map control, because all he's doing is killing some workers. He probably won't kill any queens, and my actual army is still as it is. So I'm going very Ling heavy on the beginning of this because I saw him doing Marine medevac. If I knew that he was going mech into a bunch of Hellions, I would have done way less Lings and I would have gotten more queens at the beginning. But I'm feeling confident with this.
Our forces are under attack.
And again, I'm just now I move the Spore into where it needs to be. I'm trying to catch those Hellions, get a nice surround on them, cleaned up.
Drones are under attack.
Now we should be holding down the drone button because I took a nice trade. Yep, there it is. Drones again. So he is killed, and I'm doing a counter push right now. So he's killed 10 workers. We're about tied in workers, and I'm on 10. I'm not looking at my Lings, I'm just trying to get them in and do some damage. And I lose quite a lot of them, so I'm pulling them back home right now. I killed 6 of his workers, so now we should be a little bit ahead now. So we're going up to 66. I want to get up to 75, which is my kind of butter zone, and I'm starting to make 15 Hydras. So I'm going to make 15 to 20 Hydras every time against Bio. 15 to 20 against Bio every time. And then it's, I only take 6 gas, but I get up to 75 workers, so I have the mineral income to slam out Lings if I need to. I see the drop coming. I'm going to go try to chase it down. I'm floating a lot of minerals. what's my larva count? Got 4 larvas. Let's take a look at my queen usage. So I'm floating too many minerals. I should have dropped a few more macro hatches right now. So this queen's empty. This queen's empty. This queen's empty. My 4 queens are over here creep spreading, and they're about to dump their banked up injects into this. I need to have more creep though. He's not even really pressuring my creep too much. I'm just not expanding as much as I need to be. So it's just an issue. So until now, let's kind of recap all the mistakes I've made up until this point. So first big mistake is supply block. At the very beginning of the game, set my worker count behind for way too long, and it's going to stint my economy pretty bad. So let's look at resource collection right now. So that's resources, income, here we go. So yeah, we're basically tied on income. Again, I have a little bit more gas than he does. I've got more workers, but he's muling, which is why his mineral income is keeping up very well with me. How many mules does he have down right now? He's got a couple coming in just now. So he's only got 2 gas, 4 gas, yeah, 4 gas. 4 gases and an ass load of workers on his mineral lines. Is he taking a 4th base? Not yet. He's expanding his production. Building a wall out of it because I pushed up here last. So he's building a wall. He's a smart person. He's trying to get map control again by doing this double drop. We've just got some Marines, but I've got way... Well, no, I actually, you know what? I lost a lot of my army with that last... Okay, I'm getting ahead. Sorry. Hold up. Okay, let's go back. Analysis mode. Sorry, I'm jumping everywhere. So the first mistakes I made was my supply block at the beginning, stinting my economy, which is keeping him even with me right now. And if you're even with the Terran and you're a Zerg, then you're behind. So I'm behind in economy. I should be way ahead, but it's not kicked in yet. Now, next, my not scouting what he's doing until kind of it's already here is very dangerous. If he had shown up with just an ass load more Hellions or something like that, or a big siege tank push or something like that, I'm just dead. If I have nothing but Ling and Queen. If he's got like 5 tanks and pulls up, I have to get the best surround of all time with the Marine count that he could have at the same time. It's just not a good thing to have because my creep spread's bad. He's not been doing a great job clearing my creep, but I've done a very worse job not spreading my creep. So this one path is not bad. But I usually have creep up to here by 8 minutes, especially on this small map. And I usually have creep started down here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4 paths that I usually run on this map. Not doing that. I've lost some workers to just 1 Liberator harass, and I didn't position my spores properly when I was getting harassed, so I made more work for myself, and it was an inefficient way to deal with that. Also, I kind of put my spores in a shit spot because I didn't know what he was doing. So all the mistakes I've made up until now are that. My macro's okay, but it's not very good at the moment. So let's go back to Danberg Vision. Let's continue forward, because now is where I'm going to start making some mistakes. Cheers, Augustus. So I'm looking for his drop. I'm just right beside it, actually.
We're running out of minerals. Evolution complete.
And I guess I'm like, well, I guess it's just not there. So I pull my Lings into a weird spot. Okay, no, I'm glad I put them up at least in the corner. Alright, so there's something that just crossed the minimap on the bottom by my spotter Ling. That's a really good spot for that Ling always. I've made a couple Banelings because I saw the drop coming. I didn't make like 100,000 Banelings. I have 8. I have 6 Banelings right now to deal with his drop if I need to. They have speed. But I'm just trying to get my Hydra count up right now. I want to get that nice Hydra count. I've got the gas income to do it now. I've got the mineral income to do it. I'm not spreading creep. I have not spread creep for like 3 minutes. Alright, now before I take this fight, this is where I'm going to make some massive mistakes, is these engagements here. Alright, so let's take a look at his spread. So this is just... CC's behind this. So he's keeping up with me in supply, but I've already thrown away about 30 supply units, 40 supply units. I could have been maxing out, which is I usually can max out before 10 minutes. I can max out before 9 minutes with Lingbane Hydra if I'm not getting harassed. I've only lost 10 workers. I should be able to be maxing out right now, but I threw away a lot of army for a couple workers. So that was a bad engagement on my part. But it was just kind of a counter push.
You're running out of minerals back home.
A creep tumor's under attack.
Alright, so I'm trying to get a surround if there's tanks up here. I wanted to be able to come in and surround it.
Mineral field depleted.
That's why I attacked from the back and not the front. Trying to get... Oh, and then there's a drop in the main. There's the drop that I kept seeing before. Everything's going up to the main. Pulling the workers over. I'm waiting for him to come in. Getting as much as I can. Pulled my workers to my third. I'm targeting down his medevac so he can't get out. The Lings are just kind of hunkered around the corner there. I'm just staring at it. 900 minerals in the bank. Shit macro. Shit macro. 1,000 in the bank right now. So I could have just A-moved that and looked away. It was a couple Marines in a medevac that I had killed already. So I do want to secure this base over here, so I'm moving my army into position, and I think I'm going to put a couple safety hydras up in my main now. I am at 3-3, starting up adrenal glands and +3/+3, so I am super far ahead in upgrades.
They're attacking your base, you know.
I see a push coming out on the bottom. I don't look at it. Let's see what this is. Just a bunch of Marines. So my minimap awareness is really bad. It's very bad, actually. What am I doing? Trying to get my injection. There's my queen. I need more macro hatches. What's my worker count? I'm at my 80 that I like, but I have really bad saturation. Liberate in the third.
A creep tumor's under attack.
You're engaging the opponent.
Send everything over
A creep tumor's under attack.
to deal with it. So now he's coming out to clear up my creep because he's trying to push.
Your forces are under
I
attack.
realize this now, and I'm aware of this now, but at the time I wasn't. So I'm still at 75 workers. Let's see what his worker count is. 78. So he's on a better economy than I am right now, and he's muling. So usually at this point of the game, I've done some damage to him, but he's kept me on my side of the map. I think the biggest mistake that I've made so far was the counter push. I should have been a little bit more aware of what was going on with that counter push. I had a lot of Zerglings at that part of the game, back at like the 6-minute mark. I'll go back, but when I threw those Lings away, I'm gonna imagine if I didn't, I'm gonna see the damage I got, how much I could have saved, and then come back. So that would have been, I could have been maxed out already, and now I could have been roaming the map much earlier. Also, I have 32 Hydras,
Our forces are under
so that's
attack.
way too many. I don't have them hot properly, so I didn't know how many I had. So also right here, this is a shit engagement. I'm looking at the wrong stuff. I'm looking at this over here. I'm not looking at up here. I could have, if I hit just... Yeah, this engagement's really bad. There's a lot of other places I could have come into. I could have just... I mean, shit, I could have just Nidist. Boom. Been in the main. If I was going to push up to here, I should have brought everything down this path here to take this out, choked him through this point here, taken this base out and run home. That would have been a better call. Instead, I'm going to spread my army up in this entire range where he has a great spread of tanks. So this engagement's really bad on my part. This is the second shit engagement I've taken in this game. The first one was before. This is the second really bad engagement. And now, after this, I'm going to lose my army, and he's going to be ahead on workers. Let's go back to Danberg vision. Let's see what I'm tunnel visioning in. So I'm like, okay, that's a shit engagement. Let's go back.
Evolution
I am maxed
complete.
out again. Here's the shit engagement that I have. Now, again, he has cleared up my creep, I will say a total of 2 times this game. He has pushed to clear up my creep a total of twice. But I have absolutely dog shit creep spread right now. And I still have, if you look at my hotkey here for my creep queens, I still have 5 of them. Now they've been up in my main trying to defend against drops. That's where I do put them sometimes. If I don't have safety hydras, I'll throw my creep queens up in the main. Look at this massive move out that I'm just not looking at right now because my minimap vision is really bad. I'm making overseers instead. I do try to take a
You're
spread on
engaging
this.
the opponent.
I am making Vipers. Okay, so I see what he's doing.
Your forces are
Trying to
under
get into a
attack.
spot that's good for me.
Evolution complete.
Take some bad hits. I see all those tanks over there. I see he has 4 tanks. Alright, now before I move in, I'm waiting for 3-3 to finish.
Mutation complete.
So I've got 3+3 in adrenal glands. Trying to see if he's going into some other tech switch after this or not.
Mutation
Just kind of have some understanding of what he's doing.
We're running
But
out of
those,
mineral-
you know what? Instead of going here, these would have been better to go here so I could see what's going on, because I have absolutely no idea what his spread looks like here. And I'm not going to look. I'm not going to look until I take my engagement.
A creep tumor's under attack. Your forces are taking
So he's
damage.
got a Liberator up on top. I have money in the bank. I'm maxed out, so I'm able to just kind of go. I've got a queen in the right position. That's what I mean. So like when you, that's what I was talking about in the beginning. If you put your spores in the right spot, it forces them to siege up in a different place, and then you usually just have queens around that kill it automatically. Because all those Liberators, unless you're at a super high level, are just set and forget it. Just trying to pull my attention away, get some drone kills so he can do some damage. Okay, so now I'm working on my Viper. Okay, yeah, I have my Viper getting energy right now is what I know I'm doing. I'm making some infestors, and I wanted to hit on an infestor. Hold on.
Mineral field depleted.
Okay, so I'm moving in right now. Let's think about how much of a shit idea this is. Now, before I even look around the map, let's take a look at what I have up here. I have 6 workers and a base with a spine crawler and a queen. I don't give a shit about this base. I don't give a shit about this base. This base is not important because I can just go here. I can just go here. Shit, I can even expand here if I win this fight. So there's no reason for me to engage right now to defend this base. This is a very, very bad investment on my part. He's not directly threatening anything super important. If he was shelling this base here, that would be an issue. If he was shelling maybe this base over here, I only have 6 workers. If these 6 workers were over here, that would have been just a completely empty base and totally unnecessary. So I'm still at 70 workers too. So it's not like I absolutely need this base. I'm still at the economy that I want. But I'm going to engage to try to defend a point that I don't care about into mass siege. Now, let's take a look. What would be the best angle on this? He's got an ass load of tanks. So what I would need to do is I should have broke these rocks like way earlier in the game. I haven't broken these rocks yet at all. I usually break these rocks while I'm getting my hydras with my lings. So this is an issue. Again, I should have creep spread up to here by this part of the game as well, even if he's pushing it back 4 creep queens with, where are my creep queens right now? Full energy on each of them. I don't need the larva at this point. I've got a bank of 23 larvae. So I should have waited. I should have just been patient. I have a decent army. I'm getting good upgrades. He's about to get 3-3, so I mean, this is a good time to attack if it was just bio. But I don't need to. It would have been maybe better for me to wait till I have more infestor vials, so I can, and neural parasites, so I can maybe go and try to steal some tanks, and that would have been a much better play on my part. But instead, we're going to attack in. So let's see, how's my attack look? All my hydras hit first. My lings and banes are way out of position. If all of this hit at the same time, I could have maybe gotten down this ramp and gotten a nice surround on all this. So the lings, what I was planning on doing. Lings should move into the center of this to surround his tanks. Banelings go in to zone out his bio, and then the Hydras kind of do DPS for what they need to do. But really, Lings should smash in here, kill all these tanks, and then it would have been better. So watch my supply versus his supply on this engagement. So instead, I'm going to attack 3 different times. This is just a really shit engagement. I should have come down from up here. I came down from here. So I'm attacking through. I guess I have 2 points. I got some nice blinding clouds down here. But he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more tanks out on this side. So getting into his tank line now, so his tanks are going to start hitting his own stuff. But now he's maxed out before I have. I don't have the larva bank that I need. So he didn't really lose much. So now I've got infestors that I'm trying to like just buy time with. Now he's in a spot that I don't want him to be in. So you see, now this is an issue where he's able to now threaten this space. I don't need to attack this. Still, he's still not into a spot that's super dangerous for me, but I'm gonna just kind of trickle in units against his army. Alright, so here. So yeah, now I've lost this game. This engagement, I didn't need to take this engagement. I didn't need to take this engagement. What I should have done, tried to pull these workers down over to here if I could. Expand down to here, expand down to here, creep spread out. Wait for him to engage. As soon as he unsieges his tanks, that's when I move in to go home. Because with his tanks sitting right here, all he can threaten me with is his bio. And he will not extend his bio outside of his tank line because he's a smart Terran player. All I need to do is, if he wants to eventually tech into different units, he needs to get rid of this army. So he can get rid of his bio, but I can clean that up very, very quickly because I had infestors right here. As soon as he extended up the ramp, I could have gone fungal, Ling Bane, walked back, taken out a big chunk of his army. Just keep doing that over and over. As soon as he tries to go home, unsiege his tanks, that's when we push in. That would have been a much better idea. That would have been a much better execution, but I didn't do it. So this engagement here, for me trying to attack and save something that is completely unnecessary for this push, that's why I lost this fight. Let's just put it on ×2 and watch the rest, because I'm going to die. Behind this, let's see if I wanted to do a counter push. If I wanted to do a counter push, yeah, this wall right here. It's a wall here, but I have enough DPS with 3 Adrenalings to kill the shit out of that supply depot. Or I mean like 2 Banelings at this point. Boom, and I'm in. He does have high ground. He doesn't have any tanks there. It's all on his side of the map. It's all on my side of the map. So yeah, like a bit of a rush into this wall right here would have taken down all these barracks as well, which was 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess I can just look at structures. If I killed 3 of his barracks, he has 8. That's almost half of his. That's almost half of his economy, or not half his. That's almost half his production. So I'm trying to fungal his shit now, but he didn't siege his tanks. I'm taking way too many bad attacks off of creep. Again, the whole game has been attack off creep, attack off creep, attack off creep. So let me see the very first engagement I had here. When I threw my lings across the map. I still have my big ling horde. Let's see here, where was this? Yeah, I've got a massive amount of masselings. Kill this little push. Now I push across the map. Alright, here we go. I need to watch this. So I totally didn't watch this. I just threw it into his base. Let me see here. Okay, that actually was pretty good. Okay, you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Let's go back and look at army supply. So we're at 100 and... we're basically tied. We're tied here in army supply, and he's about to push out of the map. I'm okay with this. But he was actually going to defend this base now. Ah, I see. He wasn't doing a push. He was just coming to defend the base. So boom, right there, we're almost tied. Let me look at units lost. So resources lost here. I've lost about 2,000 more than he has. So it's going a little bit in his favor, but he's also killed 10 of my workers and an assload of my stuff. So it wasn't the best trade. It wasn't the best trade, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. I would say it gave me some map control because now his army value is down to 1 tank or 2 tanks. 1, 2. So 1 up here, 1 down here. Yeah, it's not bad. I guess I could have maybe even just gone crazy ling right now and just tried to get in, but he's making a lot of stuff. Lots of things at the same time. So. Yeah, alright. So, there it is. Lost this because of engagements into positions of interest that I don't have. I don't care about this base. So every time I play Augustus from now on, Augustus, this is for you. Every time I play you from now on, I'm going to think, do I need to take this engagement? Am I taking this engagement off of creep? Do I know what his army composition is? And do I understand the positioning, the proper pathing that I should be taking to take that fight? If I can't say yes to all 4 of those, I'm not going to engage. So I'm going to force your hand on engagements from now on instead of you forcing mine. I think it's going to be a very similar problem for the next game. It wasn't just the tank line that I was saying yesterday. It wasn't just your tank numbers that killed me on this. It was my decision making. It was my bad macro. It was my supply block. It was my overextensions. It was my lack of creep spread. It was my lack of being able to deal with the harassment from your liberators properly and spending my APM onto that. It was my lack of being able to not tunnel vision on the wrong things when I'm engaging on you, when I pushed into your third base, and I didn't actually look at my Hydras getting shelled by 4 tanks up a choke point. It was bad. I should have put everything over on the same side. Again, my engagements are terrible, and you are highlighting that because you are a better player than I am. But I'm hoping to amend that. I'm hoping to be able to beat you eventually, and then we can actually both get some good experience and good value out of these practice sessions that you're letting me have. Augustus, cheers. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you tomorrow in the next replay. Thanks for watching.